Hey everybody, welcome to the Healthcare AI Hands-On Machine Learning broadcast. Mike Mastanduno.
Hey Levi.
Masty. Is that?
Oh,
We heard it's an old
it's a high school nickname. Yeah.
Not bad feelings.
Not too bad.
All right, we got a lot of mics on our team, so we might have to go with it. So, you doing well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Glad to have you back. We're back.
Glad
It's been
to
a
be
while.
back.
Yeah. Let's get down to brass tacks here. So if you want to log into YouTube so you can chat with us, we want to chat and, so log in, subscribe to the channel, subscribe, share, and all those nice like as well. Like is a good one. But we also have a Slack channel, which you should check out at healthcare.ai, healthcare.ai/Slack. Yeah, just go to healthcare.ai. It'll have it up at the top there. That way you can chat with us during the week, help us figure out, collaborative projects, talk, get involved in the community. So
We're talking about contributions this week.
contributions,
A lot of
very
people on
apropos.
Slack are contributing.
Yeah,
So.
it's a fantastic community. So contributions. So we love free labor and we love to work together. We have this tool, Healthcare AI, that helps folks do machine learning in healthcare, and it's free. You might have noticed that it's out there, and everybody's busy, and we want to help newbies get more involved in the community. So we want to talk about how to get folks involved in building code. And we've talked about this before, but we'd love to go over it again because
It got easier.
it got easier. Things are more efficient now,
Yeah.
even more newbie friendly. So
And this doesn't just apply to our packages. Of course, we'd love it if you contributed to our packages, but this
in
applies
general,
to any open source project.
yeah, overall.
So, yeah.
So if you want to get involved in writing code, want to know how to interact with GitHub, you've come to the right place. This is what we're going to talk about today. And feel free to jump in the Slack channel and let us know questions you have so we can speak to those. And if not, jump in the Slack channel for afterwards and we can follow up during the week. So, where should we begin? Talking about Python and R updates first.
Yeah.
We talk about the difference between, what releases are out there and what's in GitHub.
Well, man, we've been.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. We were plugging this has machine learning course pretty hard right before.
That happened.
Through the whole summer. How'd the course go?
Yeah, so Mike Levy, our educator extraordinaire, did an awesome job. About 40 folks came into Salt Lake City, downtown. We had a training. It went fantastic. Mike's great. And if you guys want to have some education in your organization, reach out, talk to Mike, perhaps set that up. But went really well from my perspective. You were there.
It went really well. User feedback was very positive.
Yeah,
And next year's is going to be even better.
exactly.
Yeah.
Do it again.
Mm-hmm.
So Python R updates. So Python just has some changes. You might have noticed that we've been focusing on R mostly in these broadcasts. We want to say that Python packages got a lot of work lately. So for those Python folks out there, there's a new release, 1.0.0, and it makes it super easy to test a bunch of different algorithms out on a data set, see which algorithm performs best in terms of model accuracy, even lets you tune hyperparameters if you're into that, but really makes the model creation pipeline super straightforward. And dive in, let us know what you find. If you have questions or issues, we're all ears. Anything else?
For Python?
Yeah.
No, Python's great though. It is very quick to go from finish loading your data to building a model.
It's beautiful.
I like it.
Yeah.
Process was streamlined significantly.
Yeah, test it out. So in R, updates there as well. You were
Yeah.
involved in some of those.
Yeah, same stuff. So we're trying to make the process easier for people to clean their data and build models. So one of the overwhelming pieces of feedback we were getting was that people didn't like having to pull in all of their data to make predictions. So it felt weird to have to pull in 300,000 rows from the database to make a prediction on 10 of them. So we did a lot of hacking and slashing under the hood. Now we only need to pull those 10 rows from the database.
Exactly.
So that's
streamlined.
that was a ton of work on our end, but it's
out there now,
Yeah.
1.0.0, and also had a multi-class classification. So
Yep.
a lot of predictions in healthcare are about binary, yes, no, but now you can predict multiple categories.
Yeah, and so all this is kind of documented in our changelog. We've actually gone to 1.2.0 at this point.
Extra things going on under the hood.
We've added some logging capability that makes things a little easier, and There was something else we did. I don't remember what it was, though.
Check the changelog.
But it'll be in
We'll
the
update that,
changelog.
yeah.
And the changelog, you can get it right on the main GitHub page, and that is not specific to our package only. You can get to the changelog for almost all open source projects, and they'll tell you what's kind of changing over time. That's a great spot to check for updates.
Yeah, but if you're interested, go to github.com/healthcatalyst, and you'll see the healthcare AI repos there. So today we want to talk a little bit about how you can contribute to these tools. That's the whole idea behind this, right? Is that it's a community effort. Folks are learning. We weren't always into this stuff ourselves. We came up this learning curve just like anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And so just to suss it out a little bit, so we have releases. We talked about 1.0, and that is what's up in CRAN. And then as you have this CRAN release up there, we're making changes under the hood. And anytime you want, you can actually pull the bleeding edge version. Bleeding edge, is that a common term?
I've only heard you use it.
Really?
But I've heard you use it a lot, so yeah.
Maybe I need
pretty common.
a new phrase.
I like it.
All right. The newest version is up in GitHub if you want to pull it down.
Goes along with your management style,
Bleeding?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll deal with that later. So if you want the newest stuff, you pull from GitHub. If you want the stuff that's super well checked, you pull from CRAN. And so usually when you're working in our studio, you're likely pulling stuff from CRAN. But if you're going to interact with the package, you need to pull the very latest. If you're going to add to the package, you're going to want to pull down the latest stuff so you know what you're working with. So that's what we're going to get into today. So how do we want to dive in?
I mean, we might as well just start with what is GitHub and what is version control.
High level, good.
Yeah, so Git is a version control language that's basically you start your process, and then it saves the incremental changes from one iteration to the next. So if you change a line, it remembers what you changed and applies it, keeps a history of everything. It's like you're writing your thesis in Microsoft Word, and you could always roll back to before you deleted it accidentally.
That would have been nice.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's really important for seeing code evolve over time. And then GitHub, which is the website that's kind of become really popular for hosting Git projects, makes collaboration super simple within organizations and between organizations.
Okay, so let's see if we can nail this down. So Git is how you track changes.
Yep.
And you can use that on your laptop.
Yep.
And then GitHub, you could think of as the servers,
Yep.
perhaps, that hold the code. So, your popular packages that you'll find on CRAN are often hosted up on GitHub.
Precisely. Yeah, and GitHub really it feels like it's kind of a standard in code sharing. At this
GitHub's
point.
popular in data science. Bitbucket's popular as well. So check them out.
Yeah. So the purpose of the broadcast today, though, is to get you helping to contribute to open source. And, we'd love it if it's our package, but this applies to any package. It's pretty easy to get up and running these days as long as you know the right steps. So we've updated our contributing docs, which you'll find in the show notes for this show. Or you can just go to our main page, and the R package contributing is there. But we're going to kind of just follow those steps and show you how to get your development environment set up. Because I don't know about you, Levi, but I'm much more comfortable when I'm actually just writing the R code. And all the steps to get myself ready to write R code.
Yeah, it's a headache, right?
They can feel kind of tiresome, yeah.
Right, no, that's kind of one of the things that I struggled with starting out.
Yeah.
So that's the goal today, get you to writing R code that we can eventually pull into the package, or some package.
So if we head over to my screen, I'm going to just demonstrate that. So we've got the package here on the Health Catalyst website, which is where it lives, but you don't have access to the Health Catalyst website, which means you need to get our package into your own private personal account. So you do that by forking the package, which is right here. So I'll fork it to my personal account, which has that picture of me there. And
Nice.
there's this graphic of a book with a fork in it getting scanned, so the package is going over to my personal repository or my personal GitHub account.
Yeah.
And now it's there. You can see my username instead of Health Catalyst and healthcare AI.
So that's a fork.
That's a fork. And so now that's living on the cloud, and I want to get it onto my machine to get it onto my machine to edit. And so the way you do that is you use clone. And recently, GitHub has put out this desktop application that's absolutely fantastic. It's called GitHub Desktop.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow, suitable.
Good name. And it integrates really well with their website and just sweeps away a lot of the details that used to make people hung up on, do you need an SSH key or do you need a...
Yeah, there was too many options.
Yeah, a lot of options, and frankly, I don't care about them. I just want to work on the code. So
Exactly.
you press clone or download, you open in desktop, you tell it, it brings you over to desktop.
And this is in Mac, Windows, easy, free download.
Yep, it's cross-platform. So, I've got a folder that's ready for this thing, and I'm just going to open that folder and press clone, and GitHub Desktop takes care of the rest.
Beautiful, and that's any folder, wherever you want to work on your hard
Yep.
drive.
So it installs Git, it installs anything I need, it pulls the package down into my personal repository. So I have 2 copies of healthcare.ai, but you can see that this one is my, that text is probably a little small, but I don't think I can actually make it bigger. Yeah, so that's my personal copy, and right there, I'm ready to go.
You're ready to go. So you just downloaded the files.
Yep.
You're ready to work.
Yep, I can do whatever I want, and now I'm ready to go.
This is amazing. GitHub Desktop.
So that's how you get set up. Before we go any further, we should probably talk about some of the vocabulary that's
let's go into it.
Needed for GitHub.
It's a little confusing at first.
Yeah, so there's a lot of terms with GitHub. And
Clone, fork,
we already went over those. But
pull request.
what are the important ones?
Yeah, let's go through them. Okay. So commit. That's one you might have heard of. Repo.
Yep.
Touched on that a little bit.
Okay, so a commit, that's the same thing as a save. It's a checkpoint. You save the stuff, and you put a little message on it saying what it was, and it's the same thing as saving your document.
You're saying, I have this unit of something, save it.
Yes, that is a commit.
Okay, that's good. So you might have heard of push and pull.
Mm-hmm.
Push is you're actually saying, okay, well, I've committed on my local machine, I've committed this thing on my laptop, we want to back it up, and so we're actually pushing it up to the GitHub servers.
Yeah. And so meanwhile, I'm working on the code, and I'm sending stuff to the GitHub server. I'm pushing it up from my machine, and you need to now pull my changes down onto your machine.
Yeah.
So that we stay in sync.
Pull down the latest code. Seems like you could get a little bit confused, pushing and pulling, so let's suss that out a little bit.
It's always with respect to what's on the cloud, right? On the remote.
Yeah. So
that's the ground truth.
Exactly. So it might be a good time to get into branches.
Sure. Yeah. So a branch is another thing. A branch is,
That's a thing.
The main branch is called master, and it's like the trunk of the tree. And then the development branches they come out from the trunk. You work in those to do your development, and then when you're done, you tie them back into master.
There you go. So master is kind of the source of truth,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have these development branches. You also hear the terms topic or feature branches sometimes.
Yep.
And so do we want to go into how they create their own topic branch?
Yeah, sure. We can.
That's
do that.
pretty streamlined out here.
Yeah, it's pretty streamlined. So if we head back over to my screen.
So let's say that you've done
yeah,
these steps that Mike has done, and you want to start working on the code. Well, folks at home, do they even really need a topic branch? Should they just work in master
They
themselves?
can just work in master if they want to, since they forked. That's a nice process of forking.
Okay.
So yeah, we won't even. You don't even need to bother, but maybe just for reference, it's worth talking about. If you want to make a new branch in GitHub Desktop, you just go to the branch menu and go to new branch. You can give it a name like, we usually put our names in it and the issue number. GitHub pages usually have issues associated with them that you're trying to solve, so maybe it's a bug fix, and then what is in that issue. So
What you're doing,
Mike
what you're working on.
672 bug fix.
Yeah.
And once you're working in that branch, you do all your code, you make all your commits. So, should I go ahead and do that? What do you think?
Maybe we could make commits in master. So we don't need to get into branches too much. They're helpful when you're working on teams
All right,
and
so
building
let's
code with a
change some
team.
stuff.
But you guys at home can just work in your master branch that you created in your fork.
Mm-hmm. So let's see. If we go over to GitHub and then let me move over to. It might be kind of hard to actually do the changes, but
So if we go into your master, does that show back up in GitHub or in RStudio rather?
Yeah, I just want to make sure I'm in the right directory. I think I might have to. I guess we could talk about this part. This part is kind of important. So to get RStudio to interact with that repository that you cloned from your own personal account, you have to make a new R project, which is up in the upper right. And you can choose an existing directory, browse for the directory you just downloaded. It's not there though, and it's going to take care of the rest for you. Repos, forked repositories, healthcare.ai, open, and then you hit create project.
Okay, so now we're working in RStudio. So there's
Yep.
GitHub Desktop. Now RStudio is where you write the code. So we've pulled the project into RStudio.
Yeah, and let's say we just want to change the README. So you can open the README, and let's see. Maybe we think the aim of healthcare AI is something different. Make machine learning easy on healthcare data, and also make you look very smart.
Oh, nice addition.
Yeah, so then I can save that file, head over to GitHub Desktop, and check it out. It has done a diff of, you know what? Let me just make this bigger manually. Can I do that? Scaled. No, I don't want to do that. I won't mess with that. Okay. Yeah, so we see what was removed in red and what was added in green here. This is the file that was changed. I've got to make a commit. So let me make a commit. Changed mission of package. I'll commit that to master. And then I got to push it up to the remote.
You got to save your work in case, fire.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So this is
loss of laptop capabilities, probably more likely.
All right, so you can see how easy that was. And then if we head back over to, this is my version of healthcare AI, we'll see that this branch is one ahead, and I can pull request that right there. And what's a pull request? We didn't get into that.
That's a good question.
That's an important one.
And so some people think it's kind of a confusing term, and it is. So you have your work on one branch. You have the master branch where everybody's pushing code. And so you want to push your code into master. So people explain it that, okay, well, actually the people that control master are pulling your code in. So, you're saying, hey, please pull my code in, do a review. And so at this stage, when you're doing the pull request, it gives the maintainers of the package, like me and Mike, to go over what was done, talk to you about what maybe could be improved or changed slightly if there are things like that to be changed. And it's very easy in GitHub here.
Yeah, you just hit create pull request, and there your work showed that you did in your package now is showing up in the maintainers package.
Exactly. Should we create one real quick to show them how?
Sure.
It's super streamlined. It's amazing how many tools they built in here.
You can add descriptions and things, and now we're on the Health Catalyst Healthcare AI page.
That's where you have to create the pull request from, or they create it from their own page?
It's all automatic. Yeah,
So
you
either
go to
page.
your own page and hit create pull request, and it does it in the upstream repo
Beautiful.
that you forked. So
now if we go in and look at the pull request that was created, you see the number of commits.
oh yeah, okay. So here are the number of commits.
Just
That's
one.
The one with my message, and then the files changed is right there, and then a maintainer of that package can go and review your changes, and they can comment or approve or request your changes.
And you have a conversation in this same screen here.
So if they request changes, you don't need to do another pull request. You can just start committing back to just start committing and pushing, and they'll go right here.
It's beautiful.
So the process is pretty simple, and this applies to healthcare AI, please, all the way up to if you want to edit ggplot2 and get Hadley's stamp of approval, you can do that too.
Yeah, maybe we're a little less intimidating, so please check us out. But the idea is, if you're looking to get into data science, if you're looking for skills to add to your tool belt, as it were, learning how to interact with Git and GitHub are, I would say, the top of the list.
Yeah, it's definitely something that companies are demanding that you know how to do. It's just it's a part of the job these days.
Yeah, and it's really fun technology to learn and work with. So now that we've done the code review, things look good. then one of us goes and merges the code in, and it's part of the package.
Yep.
And maybe we'll do a release on CRAN in a couple weeks, but anytime you want, you can pull down this bleeding edge version of the package and interact with the code you just put up there, and anybody else can as well, which is amazing.
Yeah. So let's actually go through and show how to do that, because it's pretty simple. So to get the bleeding edge version, or to get the version on CRAN, you use this install.packages and then healthcare.ai. So that'll get you the version that's on CRAN, which currently is 1.0.0. But I said we were at 1.2.0 already. So to do that, you do, it's in the DevTools package, which you might not have unless you're into package development, but you go DevTools, and then install GitHub, like that. And then you just need the repo. It's a web address to the repo. And you can find that on our website, but it's like...
Yeah, it might even be just, is it Health Catalyst / healthcare.ai -r? I guess there's a couple ways to skin the cat.
With some typos. Anyways, you get the idea. And
yeah,
you hit
pull it
that,
directly down
pulls it
from GitHub. So there you go.
It's still one line from our studio to do it.
Yeah, so check it out. Let us know if you have questions. But the main idea is that you don't have to pay for software these days. You can develop skills with these repos, with these folks that you see out there like Hadley. You know, reach out and say, hey, you know, what should I dive into? What help do you need? Do we want to talk about issues at all? So,
sure. So, well, before we do that, so have people been contributing to the R or Python packages?
Yeah. Actually, we've had some people contributing and, in fact, giving meetup talks around the country. So Nashville, Chicago. So if you're interested in that, reach out. We can get you some stickers sent out and, you know, help you with your slides if you want.
Contribution stickers.
Yeah, exactly. So please contribute and join this community, and we would love to learn what you're up to and help you with your work and learn from you as well.
And if you want to build somebody else's package, that's fine too.
Yeah, there's tons of great packages out there.
You know,
for sure.
Find one that you think is has a good mission and you want to work on.
Dive in. Yeah, it's all just about getting started. So, about
what did you
wraps
want to
it
do?
up. No, I think we showed how to install from GitHub, and that's kind of one of the last things we had.
I think you wanted to look at issues real quick.
Issues, yeah.
So let's do that. So we can go over to the board, which is...
Should we go to like the main issues view that most people have?
Yeah, that's a good idea. Let me do that.
So whenever you go to a repo, there's an issues tab you'll notice at the top. And you can see these tags for, okay, you know, is it a bug? Is it newbie friendly? Some of these have help wanted on them, you'll notice if you poke around.
Yeah, and so like this is a bug low, which is something in our package. And, you know, I think it's kind of interesting how this is steps to reproduce. And this kind of gives a description of what's wrong. And, you know, sometimes it'll have a description of how to fix it. Let's put an estimate on this. The higher the number of the estimate, the more difficult it is, or the more time it'll take. But yeah, I think it's, well, I don't know.
But yeah, look around for some
nothing to
help
say.
wanted issues, poke us and say, hey, you know, is this like a good one to start on? If you ever need to mention us or to get us our feedback, you can type in the comment below the issue and say, hey, at mmast or at Levi.
Levi.
There you go.
And there. Now Levi gets an email.
I'll get an email, yeah. So check it out. I think that's about all we had.
Yeah, sounds good. So I hope you'll gain something from this, and hope to see you contributing.
Yeah, awesome. We got a comment from Avinash in the channel here saying, hey, we want to start contributing. So for folks like Avinash, if you have questions as to what we've described, please reach out in the Slack channel during the week, and we can have an ongoing discussion there.
Yeah.
But great job, Mike. Thanks, everybody.
You too, Levi.
Yeah.
Hope check out the contributing doc and or watch the broadcast.
Yeah, see you guys soon. Thank you for joining us today. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, comment below, and click the links below to join our Slack channel and our Healthcare AI community.